In the trenches with Kaz, and we're about to have an audio check, and then we'll get on with the game. Let's go. Let's see that thumbs up if we can. Let's assume that we are getting perfect audio as we go in to say good day to everyone. And while we're doing that,
that's right, a 7-Eleven here in Paramount was raided by a mob following a street takeover. The owner tells me he's now out thousands.
How we going? We got sound? Do we have sound? Yes or no? Welcome everyone if you can hear me. Hi Kaz, good for you. G'day PK, my favourite chewing gum. How you going, buddy? Sounds good. Excellent. Scruffy Duck, thanks very much, mate. All looking good. Guys and gals, thank you for today, and I'm glad we're here. It's time to make Australia great again. It's time to take away the ominous cloud of dread that is coming across the Western world, trying to make us feel guilty for everything we do in this world, regardless of how our morning starts, especially if you're white and you're a man. But we're going to talk about that tonight, what we can do about it, and why, it's just a new norm, a new future. And the actual fact is, truth is the victim of modern society.
Out here for you.
We choose truth over facts.
Never go full retard.
Come on, man.
There we go. So, guys and gals, I'm going to have a series of banners up here we're going to put up here. Make Australia great again. Okay, a little bit of a tongue in the cheek there. But we've got some things we want to put up. Don't be scared. If so, what are you scared of? Can you name it? Truth and our future is the true victim of our modern times. Do you feel it? As an Australian citizen, as a global citizen, of people that are law-abiding, of good character, who are paying their taxes, but still feel no matter what they do, you better remain silent because of village idiots that are gathering in packs because of the internet's capability to gather the hordes. It just feels like there's nothing we can do right. Orchestrated outrage is occurring, and there is no way that people actually mean it. If they do, then it is mental health worse than I could comprehend, for sure. So let's have a look at that one for a sec. We'll go back to your comments while that's on the screen. William Crass, Billy, you must be so proud, Kaz, have so many people that follow you and respect you, or they're waiting to get a sound bite of me stuffing up. So that can happen too. Don't worry about that, mate. But I love what I do. I love what we do. And I'm going to put some things up here to show you in a minute as a reminder. Every time you think that the world could be better, etc., remind yourself that you're not lying under a piece of rubble waiting for an Israeli force to come and take your life in Gaza. You're not a family that is thinking, holy shit, I don't want this fight with Israel. But at the same time, my son, is part of holy shit, part of Hamas. Maybe my family members are there. What do? Can't choose sides. What if you're a Russian, 18 years old, and you just got a phone call saying now you're going to go and serve in Ukraine, and now they can do it with an email, so you can't say that you weren't actually spoken to, and therefore ignorance is no excuse. What if on the flip side you're in Ukraine about to get 500,000 new men stood up to go and fight, thinking, when is this going to end? When is Zelensky going to come and meet us in the trenches? Is the world on our side or against us? Shit like this happening. Watch this one. This is not happening in Australia. Not in Penrith, it's not anyway. Imagine driving down the street and seeing that, and that's part of your norm. You don't want that. What about this? Okay, there you go. Going about your daily bread. Bam. Hopefully that was military target. Hopefully no civilians were injured as collateral damage of that. What about this one? In the USA.
Tonight, officials are also investigating another raid, this one happening in Compton. A mob swarms the Arco gas station on Alondra and Central in Compton after a vandal breaks open a door. Then, it's a free-for-all.
Savages. Machine gun them.
You See some looters with their faces covered, others not even bothering concealing their identity as they ransack the store. They grab everything from booze to condoms, what some would consider...
Well, it's good to see they got some responsibility about something, isn't it? Okay, let's get that off the screen as well. We're going to put something up on there in a minute that you're going to be interested in as an example of how you cannot fight against people that have already lost their mind or are paid activists, for the destruction and demise of your own country at all costs. What have we got here? We got Bosso. Go respect anyway to not have to do the aptitude test. What? Respect T anyway to not have to do the aptitude test. I've attempted 2 times. School curriculum changed loads over the years, even less in a bit. I'll be straight there. Boss, sadly, you're only ever going to score the same on an aptitude test because going to university, going to high school doesn't necessarily improve your actual raw intelligence, which an aptitude is there to test. It was actually the US military that created the aptitude test to see who was capable about or to perform the duties of a soldier within the US Army prior to the war. The reason for that is because of the steep learning curve of military instruction, etc., and lessons learnt to be a soldier. Maybe you're a visual learner and maybe there is something about you. Have you got dyslexia? I don't know. I know my daughter and I were slow on learning, but we're very fast on visual learning. And that's not what aptitude tests are naturally about. But if I was to throw you a weapon and say, like this, do that, in this lesson you will be taught by the end of this lesson, blah, blah, blah. And the reason why you're taught this is so you as an Australian soldier can carry out these activities without destruction or damage to your own equipment or the safety of others, you might be fine. I'd take in my team. I'd roll the dice, take a gamble. As long as your attitude is right and as long as your sense of humour is even better, I'd take you now. And you've got to be fit as well. Roger Ramjet. G'day to Carl P. Carl P is one of my favourite people. He's going to be the commander of our cavalry unit in our Republican Roman Patreon project. If you're interested in that, I don't think I might have it in comments below. I'm not sure. Go to our Patreon, join on, and you too can be wearing the helmet. Long prong. Hashtag me too. Hey Kaz, in the worst case of World War III, do you think Chocos would deploy? No. They would stay home and defend Australia, and I don't really see us projecting forces or could project Australian infantry. I'll actually spin you out a little bit here. So the target they're looking for is 80,000 troops in the military over the next 180 years or whatever it is. Now, if you put things into perspective, our current population at the moment is 27 million. That means they're only asking for 80,000, which is less than 100,000. 100,000, is less than 0.5% of our population. They're asking for less than 1% of our population to stand up. As a matter of fact, they're asking for less than 0.5% of our population, less than 1 in 270 to stand up and represent Australia in uniform, and we can't fulfill that. That's a goddamn disgrace, or our standards are too high, and I know that's not the case. Maybe we've got social decline that has gone too far. Anyway, what I'm saying is we've got the largest population in the history of Australia and the smallest amount of humans ever serving it. 1 regiment of infantry, and that is compressed, condensed. We've got battalions that have now been relinked together back to 5, 7, 8, 9, etc. We should have more than enough volunteers to put bums in the seats, in uniforms, Australian flag here, stability is a job, highest paid infantry in the world. It shouldn't be a task. Okay. Anyway, it says a lot about leadership and maybe people's confusion of what our army is and what it can do. Because I reckon we've got the best army still, and I recommend joining. Hey, Kaz, hopefully I'm well. I'm feeling really good at the moment. I hope you guys are feeling good too. How are we looking here at the moment? Okay, yep, so it's coming in. Yeah, Crush, the USA has got big problems. The whole West has got problems, but the problems stem from the generation we're in now. The total confusion, the mismessaging, deliberate mismessaging that's occurring. We're at war. We're in a social war. That's what it is. Okay, right. So let's get to our next one. Okay. We keep getting told there's going to be World War III. We kept hearing this. Who is it with? Is it with the Arab nations? Is that what they're trying to create? Okay. Is it with China? Okay. The red corn chip? Is it with Ruskies? Now, who is it with? Because I can't see us being in a fight with Russia unless we volunteer to go and do it. I can't see us in a fight with China because they can't project their forces too much further than their coastline. Okay. The Arab world, why? Foreign war, you can't win. You're fighting against a religion. Okay, it's not going to give way. There has to be a reason to go there, and there has to be the possibility of winning. And what is winning after all? Who knows? So who is the actual enemy? I would imagine we're at war at the moment, but it is with our own social structure. We are rewarding people for bad behavior, for being savages, for being unable to assimilate in a civilized society, which takes an average IQ of above, I believe, 80 to be able to do so. You know, we're allowing people to lie, and then academics tell them they're right in the face of people that are law-abiding, contributing citizens, you know, and telling them they're wrong. And they're living in the old days. Guess what? If we're still here, it's because the old days lessons worked. Wisdom works. Trust your old ones. Go and speak to some old people, and they'll tell you that climate change is a bunch of shit too. Nature, it's changing, but it always has, all the time. But if lawyers are still allowing for insurance agencies to allow the richest people that tell you that the sea is rising while they buy a coastside property, and the insurance agency says, yeah, no dramas, we'll cover that, someone's lying to you. Yeah. Righto. So climate change. Is it true? If it is, what's a bigger deal? Are they scared to be racist and deal with the countries that are filthy as fuck? Yeah, and tell them to stop doing it? Or are they going to come and tell you, hey, your electric razor has got too much emissions? It doesn't make sense. We're closing down fossil fuel, coal-fired plants, etc., so your power bills go up. But at the same time, we haven't got the infrastructure to drive an electronic EV, from Melbourne to Townsville or Cairns. You know, good luck with that. You probably can, but I dare say it'd be a bloody mission and a half to make sure you make it, because there's areas between Rockhampton and Townsville that are 180 kilometres with no refuelling. And I guarantee when you get there, there's not going to be an electric charger. Just like when you get to Dalhousie Springs, don't expect to buy unleaded. Climate change. We've all got our thoughts on that one. We all want to do the righty, but all the greenies, you never see them collecting garbage off beaches on Saturday, do you? And they don't know the difference between Saturday and Friday or Thursday or Monday because they usually don't work. Righto. We're hooking into this one, team. We'll get to this one in a second. We'll see what you guys are saying. Hey, Pally, how you going? Let's catch up soon, mate. We're at war of ideology, whether woke or religious. Yep, we definitely are. And there's nothing wrong with religion if we all accept the fact that the 10 Commandments don't need to be part of religion. They're common sense on how to treat your neighbour. Yep. Kaz, that 16-year-old African turd that murdered the lady in Brisbane was on bail. How can he go on bail? That should be executed within 10 minutes of his crime. Sorry for being late, mate. Concerned Aussie, that's okay. I like your name. Let's change it to Optimistic Aussie because you still live in the best country in the world, mate. It's worth wearing a uniform for, and it's worth defending. Whether projecting over to overseas, I don't know about that one. You know, but I'll go to wherever the scream in the night is. Spooky boy. I mean, blanket policy would be nice, but people are soft cocks and don't want to spend the money to get the alternatives running. Okay? I believe there should be a hybrid system between fossil fuels, between electric and hydro, whatever you have. And you can use them all until you get to a target where they say, okay, now let's take the foot off the Australian's throat. You know, we've got the infrastructure in a way. Now people can make their choice and eventually are going to go for something cleaner. And then you give benefits to those that actually lean into a greener facilitation of life. Yep. Righto, what else we got? Boss, Kaz, meant to say, is there any way around aptitude test? No, there's not. With other social media platforms you on, Facebook, IG, etc. Thanks, love it. Keep up the great work. Would like our private chat if possible. Yeah, no worries, bossy. All you got to do is go to Patreon if you work. You know, I don't want you to come and pay to talk to me if you don't work. And we have a one-on-one chat that goes down to everyone on the bat phone. You need that one-on-one coach with a Z-class celebrity. That means as low as you can get. and I'll be happy to talk to you. Rogue, another name for filthy fucking thief. It's a different justice system for the underage criminals. Yep, they're taking into account diminished responsibility there, but I believe now what we need to do is punish them with the wrath of God. You know, you need to make them so brutally fucking scared for getting caught again. You know, maybe the first time you get caught, bam, next time you're getting adult's charge, and whatever happens to you, don't care. And I don't care. I don't care. You know, last night we had one of our Patreon members have 6 guys come around his house. He didn't know until he was going to work this morning. His children and his missus are in the house, and he finds out these 6 little fuckbags, you know, use the petrol at 1:30 in the morning to come around his house and try to jimmy the locks on his house. I'm saying lucky for them, because they would have been Persians and he would have been the Spartan, and the doorway would have been the gates of fire, Thermopylae, and I dare say they would have awoken a giant they couldn't put back to sleep. I'm glad that he didn't hear them for their sake. We'll get on to some questions, more questions in a minute. Brother Powell, breathe through your balls. Hey, Kaz, I'm thinking of joining Chocos in year 12 while still attending school. What are your thoughts? It's a dangerous year because school asks a lot for you, you know, but you're going to absolutely love Army Reserve. And if you get in, it's going to distract you and your scores will plummet. How do I know? This guy did it. Even a hybrid system would be nice. It would make life so much cheaper, but too much funding for parties coming from those areas. Absolutely. Absolutely. Donors. Carl P. There was nearly a scream in the night at my place last night. Okay, yep. Okay, now you know who it is. Carl P. The scream was his. Spooky boy. Well, I'm just going for the Melbourne Recruitment Centre once these keyholes are done, so I can focus on doing something worthwhile rather than watching the globe decay. And look, I tell you what, Spooky Boy, that's another name for ghost team, or someone who's at your window if you're a female, I guess. Sorry, I've had a cup of coffee and a Coca-Cola just recently. As a matter of fact, let's celebrate. This one's for Mr. P. And so that it's not all pleasure, it's warm. Got to get rid of those bubbles, team. That's as easy as it is. That's wisdom. Oh, yeah. Fucking orthodontist nightmare. Can of Trump right there. I won't drink a can of Democrat, which is Pepsi. Okay, what do we got? Economic dictatorship. So what am I talking about there? We have a dictatorship that's happening in Australia right now from our politicians, which is sucking us dry. It's been a while since that too. You know, whether it be because of the continual bills and the taking of money that we don't see, that aren't our fault, the continual things like our roads. In Australia, where I am in Penrith right now, it costs $60 before your foot touches the water, not including a cup of coffee, just for me to go to the beach. 1 hour away, 1 hour and 8 minutes away at northern beaches because of the tolls. Okay, more than $36, okay, just in tolls to go there and back to the beach. Imagine that for a family. Okay, then $20 an hour for parking, and it starts off at 7 o'clock, not 9 o'clock, even on a goddamn weekend. If that's not economic dictatorship, what is? All at the same time, we've got this bug-eyed fuck that's running the country, you know, who's given up $400 million for the yes vote, that he was so disconnected he didn't realise he just wasted that money and he should have had to step down straight after that. Economic dictatorship. NDIS fiasco. Some of the stories I hear from people that are benefiting off being NDIS workers, this country's going to go under. All you've got to do is add another million fat people, you know, and worse drug problems and some more immigration problems bringing their worst over, and we're screwed. State revenue collection. You know, the police force is now primarily, rather than your safety, the police force is now a revenue collection agency. You know, it used to be about preventing deaths on the road, but by putting the bad guy away. Now, it seems like you see cops, never got their hats on anymore, wearing their uniforms badly, while at the same time having a real attitude towards Australians. And then when they give a fine, it is so over the top that you're going broke. Even the parking cops. Parking around here is $380 for an infraction. You're going to take a whole week's wages off someone who otherwise is fine because they're in the shop a little bit too long. $380. Imagine if you get hit twice. Crazy. It just never stops. And if you do things wrong, now they'll even get rid of your license, okay, so to force you to pay for that bill. Fossil fuel reduction, okay, we spoke about these. I'm not trying to whinge to them, I'm just telling you this is what we're fighting up against at the moment in the land of the free. Right, here's some other ones. National obesity. The broken legal system when it comes to fathers losing their children through no-fault divorces is incredible. Social compliance through COVID. Okay, social compliance through welcome to country. I don't accept welcome to country. I was born here. I'm not a fucking guest. I wore a uniform 4 times with a flag on my shoulder. And the reason why this occurs is because, 1, people get paid to do it. Okay, and now 2, it's to make us guilt or punish us for the no vote. Yes vote, whatever you call it. I see everyone in Australia is my peer, whether you're migrated here, whether you're an Aboriginal, whether you're white, whether you're Indian, whatever, I don't care. We're all even until your actions prove otherwise. And then it doesn't matter who you are, or even if you were here first, okay, no special treatment. Although we're seeing massive amounts of special treatment for different groups of people within Australia. Absolutely we are. And while we have multiple flags on a flagpole, what we're going to see is division in this country. Have one flag that the people said, this is what we want. They designed it. They created it. They voted on it. Leave it at that and let us be proud and move forward as a country of one. Well, 27 million. But you know what I mean? When you first come to Australia, the first thing the man should get, bam, or the woman, is a cricket bat with a signature on it of their local member that says it's your bat. It's your turn. But if you go over the fence, you're out. Yep, treat everyone with respect, but do not treat any group, with reverence, like there's some sort of deity, like there's some sort of better person than what your kids are. And that goes for military. We respect the military on Remembrance Day and we respect the military on Anzac Day. And both of those days are more for those that have lost their lives to keep us free the way we are. That's 2 days, not even. Okay, we're not asking you to come up and treat us like gods in the street. Okay, just come and join us. We'll be happy. But no more special standards for people based on the colour of their skin, because that in actual fact is racism. Yep. Politicians, lack of leaders. Absolutely. The fact that we have political people, military people saying, hey, it's okay to wear a dress as a man in the military shows you someone in leadership needs to be sacked. Someone needs to go. Extreme weakness. Land of the tolls. Yeah, you're right. There's more than I think there's 26 different toll areas in Sydney, and then there's only one more toll between Sydney and Darwin, and that's the Gateway Bridge at Brisbane. Sydney. There we go. Fuck, guys. Say it the way it is. So while we're going on here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to your comments here, just make sure I'm not missing any. And then I'm going to show you a little quick video to show you what you're dealing with. Never electric vehicles. You can't be tough in an electric vehicle. You can win the race, but I'm special. Do you mean special or special, Simon? Christoph. G'day, Kaz from the land of the single mums. There we go. That is ACT. That's Adelaide, for those who don't know. Sorry, I can't get your name right there, mate. No, it's not really related. I've benefited a heap from your content during my enlistment process and just wanted to say thanks. Gun infantry, just the medical left in early March. Fantastic, mate. Fantastic. Take your time. Do it right. All right. Be honest, but remember, it's also not a truth session. Hey, Sarah Sands with the silky voice. Never be upset about being late. This is kind of your purview, things you deal with on the daily basis, what we're talking about tonight. What have we got? Okay, so I won't give too much detail about Miss Sahara Sands, other than the fact she's got an amazing voice. But what I will say is that she deals with people, and some of them live in complete delusion. Now, for those that don't know, the guy on the left, and he is on the left, is Bill Maher. I've been in a confusion state with him for a long time now, because occasionally he says something like a traditional liberal in the USA, and it's quite on par. I like it. Okay. But then we've got on the right-hand side there, we've got Patrick Bet-David, which is a fantastic channel called Valuetainment, which covers all of the facts as a panel. Okay. But unlike The View with Whoopi Goldberg, you know, he is fairly accurate and has people hitting from both sides, etc., and covering the points in robust rebuttals. But he got onto this panel, this podcast, you could say, with Bill Maher. You know, and I'm not sure if Bill Maher is pissed here or whether he's whacked or maybe a little bit of both. You know, but what he does here is something that I hope you never do yourself. And that is go for something for the sake of it without any evidence whatsoever, and never be willing to change regardless of how policy changes. With politicians, we should be able to vote on a policy for our country, a set of policies, a portfolio of policies that make Australia better, okay, not just because you like the person. You know, vote for the policies, not the person. But be aware of the small print as well. So watch what happens here when this guy gets grilled.
Do you like Newsom? How do you feel about Newsom?
Had him on my show Friday.
I saw that.
And
Gavin Newsom is the governor of California who he's talking about, who got caught at multiple parties while putting mandates on people and punishing people for not doing the right thing through COVID. And he got caught every time with no mask, no separation, big parties happening at his house on fucking taxpayers' dollars. And he is their governor, running their country, the biggest economy in America, into the ground. I believe nearly 1 million people have defected and left, including all major businesses pretty much. So he's going to speak about this now and his love affair with this guy Newsom.
First of all, I love him. You just like a guy or you don't. I've known him for a long time. He's done my show for a long time. Do I love everything he does as the governor of California? No, I don't. I wouldn't say I'm undertaxed. I have issues with this state. He's a guy. One reason I want him to run for president, is because he's obviously a winner. This guy could fucking do it. It's insane that we have the guy.
Get ready for it.
But we can't run him because we have to tiptoe around Biden and
define a winner.
Well, he would win the election.
So
he would win the election.
So he's already failing as a governor of the biggest economy in the USA, and this guy now wants to vote for him to be in charge of all of the 50 states?
Talented debater, speaker, communicator, deflector.
And politician. And he's a smart guy. He's a smart, real guy with a pair of balls. Do I love everything? No, you never do with a politician. But first of all, I think if he ran for president, it'd be great because it would force him to move to the center. Now you're running not just in California. I mean, this is California. It's weirdo.
Are you a results-driven guy?
We should all be results-driven guys and gals, for that matter. Okay. One of the policies, I believe, James, there you go, mate. The Swiss vote policy is through their system, like minimum referendums, but streamlined, works well in his opinion. I believe it's Switzerland that also has a policy that if you have 4 children, after that you're exempt of paying income tax. That, I need to cuss, is fucking amazing. Give 4 children, hopefully they become law-abiding children, tax-paying children, return on investment, population increase, and you don't pay income tax anymore. How good's that?
No, I like to think, watch things fall apart.
I mean, you wouldn't build a show that you build and win at the levels you won, for decades if you weren't results-driven, right? I mean, you're Bill Maher. What
do you mean? What's the point about results?
That's exactly where I'm going with you. So results-driven guy.
Right.
What areas has Newsom won in? You said he's a winner.
Winner of the election. He could win the election.
So he's talking about, he can't think, as an intellectual fellow himself, can't think of a single thing that the governor of California has done right or well, but he wants to project him forward, hoping or expecting him to do the right thing when he suddenly has 337 million people that he's looking after.
But based on what, though? Do you want results? Like, what has he done to California to say he's a winner? What?
Oh, God. I don't know. It's too...
Bill, you're a smart
You know what?
guy.
He made it rain, okay, dude? It wasn't raining.
Someone you said that. He said, great job.
And I'll tell you, Bill Maher has absolutely no mercy on you if you turn up to his podcast and you're the one that hasn't done your homework. He can be brutal.
It wasn't raining, and now it's raining, so he's got my vote.
Okay,
you know what?
Respect. I mean,
I don't know. I don't follow the news. That's
But
a character
Bill,
I play on
don't
television.
deflect.
It's
You're a
character
very
of mine.
smart guy. You're
Yeah, that's correct. Apparently, he was a good governor of California. We're not talking about who we're talking about here, are we? Jeez, I just had a bloody brain fart there. Gavin Newsom, his taxes have gone through the roof. The immigration has gone crazy. They're the ones that are talking about $5 million reparations going to African Americans, despite the fact there's never been slavery in California. It's insane. I don't think he's ever done a good thing.
very smart guy.
It's a character. I actually live with my delicate wife, Sue, and our 8 homeschooled children. We just had twins.
Okay, I'll get him off. He's been a dickhead. He's just talking deflection now. Right. Let's go on and talk to you guys. Newsom is getting voted for potentially simply because he is not Donald Trump. That is it. And that is not a policy. I'll swing this back to Australia. What policies do Australia have? Have you heard of anyone's policies? Can't it be anything that brings pride back to Australia? Infrastructure back to Australia rather than just tourism, and coal and iron ore, and wine for that matter. What else have we got? When was the last time we built something that our kids were excited to look at the progress on TV? We're looking at our hospital service, in our military, all of our legends in the street where they got in so much shit because they refused to take what was not a vaccine. The COVID vaccine is not a vaccine. If you have a vaccine, it kills it. You don't still hold it. You don't pass it on. A vaccine destroys it. That's why when you have your measles, when you have your rubella, when you have your Japanese encephalitis, when you have your smallpox, you're safe to go overseas. You're not going to carry it and then give it to all of these other people and still catch it yourself. It doesn't work that way. Spicy meatball. Newborn can't fix poo-riddled streets. Yep, unless Chinese dictators come to visit. Absolutely. So what we're getting at is the truth. The truth is the real victim here, team. Do you feel like when you are the law-abiding citizen, when you go to a barbecue, etc., you've got to watch out for the lefties in the building, because if they hear anything that's anti-feminism, anything that's anti-transgender, anything that is anti-Islamic, anything that is you name it, anti-LGBT, whatever, they will bring that entire party down. They will attack with no filter whatsoever. James says, we're too busy allowing Ford and Holden to close. Morons now, they're talking about sovereign capability. Hypocrisy, absolutely. And now they're saying that all high-capacity vehicles are going to be banned soon too, which is weird because not too many things are as fast as a Tesla. Okay, Concerned Aussie says, bloody hell, mate, listen to all the things you're saying. How long is it until we've had enough? Well, it's on a micro scale, mate. Do you want to put up with this shit at your house? What you could do is say, I don't want these kind of people in my circle anymore. However, they're all through academia. They're all through all corporate HR. They're going to be everywhere through your daily movements. Sadly, the only place you can say to people, no, I draw the line at my front doorstep, vampires can't come in, is just don't invite them to your house or tell someone, leave your wife at home. She's not welcome if she's going to come and talk shit. Act Daddy, thank you very much, mate. Boom. Thank you. I'm going to buy a raw chicken leg with that. Alf Stewart for President 2024. Not in the diner. Not in the dynam. Eureka Element, taxing utes and trucks. That's crazy. Mate, when you see the tolls on trucks here, it's absolutely phenomenal how big it is. Yeah. So this is all about don't be scared. And I don't think you should be scared. Don't pick an argument with everyone you talk to, but at the same time, don't be afraid to talk your piece to allow people to have a rebuttal. You know, if someone really wants to die on the hill or something, let them know. Go, okay, let's have a conversation about that, but let's swap sides and you talk from my purview and you talk from mine. How about you support Trump and I'll support Biden for the next 10 minutes and I'll try my hardest to think of one good policy. Yeah, let's open the border and allow 10 million illegals in so that our own kids can't even go to an emergency room. That makes sense. Immigration is about attracting talent, not just attracting numbers. Having 4 children is no big fucking achievement. You know, anyone can do that at the land of single mums down in Adelaide. But if you create 4 independent children that can stand on their own 2 feet that work, okay, that makes the government pretty goddamn happy. It makes you happy too, because bored hands or idle hands make the devil's playthings. Yep. Julius Caesar, you can run for PM, Kaz. I'd run at the PM. Mate, I'm never here to run a ship. I'm here to support it. All I want to do is see leadership and be proud of it and love my country and get tears in my eyes when the national anthem comes on, when I see Kathy Freeman win the 400 metres as a record in that Star Trek suit she wore. I don't give 2 fucks what colour someone is. I don't care what sexuality is. I don't need to know. I just need to know you're a good person. That's all. Dave D. I have a diesel because we need trucks for a long time to make the country run. Therefore, there'll be diesel available. Did you know in the US, our APCs, our M113s were diesel and the Americans were petrol? Where that becomes dangerous. If you get hit by an RPG and that petrol goes up, everyone inside is scorched. If it's diesel, you are still safe. There you go. Cass, every generation sees a gradual dilution of values, beliefs, and the pride that drove our ancestors to be hardworking and honest people. Unfortunately, this has a ripple effect on all areas. It has. We definitely need to see a rewriting of our education system to allow a quota to come back, make it desirable for men to come in to the fatherless homes, you know, and be able to teach as role models to those kids in the playground, on the sports field, right, and also in the classroom with anecdotal evidence of a life already lived, passed on to those young ones while we dream build and make them the best version of themselves. So by the time they get to year 12, they know whether they actually want to go to university, and if so, what course do they want to do for the rest of their life. You don't go to uni to do a course, you go there for a career or to get married. Okay, a trade, you should have a passion for that trade. Military, medical, police, you should have a passion to go there. Dream building. By the time you're 18, you should know what to do. And if you don't know what to do, national motherfucking service. And then you'll know what to do. Okay. Bam. Okay, and that comes back to this one too. National obesity. We need to do something about it, but we're living in a land of comfort at the moment. You know, no one's coming here to attack us on Australian soil. You know, I hope I haven't spoken too early. And if they do, they've got a hell of a job with the weather, let alone the people. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to your comments, team. I hope I don't sound like a beating drum here. But we have to have these conversations because you're worth it. You need to be able to have a talk with someone. Tomorrow when someone says, hey, welcome to the country, go, no. I don't need that. I don't need to welcome to country. I'm not a guest. I pay taxes here. I obey the law here. You know. Anyway, you weren't here when I was born. You weren't here to greet me at the airport. You know, I don't need your blessing now, especially when I know you're getting paid for it. Leave it. Proud of you? Okay, you can come into my house, but I don't need a welcome. Great Southern Land, Holy Spirit. Love the army. We're all green as long as you weren't Jack. That's right. It's all based on attitude. And this is what we say, Great Southland of the Holy Spirit. We say the two most important things for military is a sense of humour, okay, and also sense of humour, which is supposed to be easy to remember. A sense of humour, okay, and a right attitude. That's it. But that's the same thing to be a good Aussie too, isn't it? In every industry. Yep. I actually feel sorry for a lot of the generation that is now, because they are so attacked, by every leftist organisation that is saying this is the way you should think, this is the way you should act, don't do that, don't be proud of your country, closed borders is bullshit, it's racist. You're going, dude, if this was our tribe, you would protect it, you would feed it, and you'd look after those within it. So when we put that on a macro scale, why is that a crime? Yeah? When you're in a village of 50, your colour doesn't matter. When you're a village of 50, what matters is, do you contribute to the table? And if you don't get a vote. Shut the fuck up. You don't get to eat from the table, and if you do, you eat last. Yep, because you haven't put anything on it. And if you're the village idiot, that's screaming and telling everyone else what they must do and the way they must think and how they must call you plural, you're not going to be there for much longer before you get ousted from the village. Then every fight you have to do individually, okay, or every feed you've got to catch it yourself. Good luck eating grass. Concerned Aussie. Not too cow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that, mate. It's not free running a channel, but we appreciate any donations we get. Crusher. I don't like the welcome for military events. Absolutely not. I can't see anything more arrogant than being welcomed to country to military. You're going, are you serious? Yeah. Anyway, I've never had a welcome to country when I've come back from operations. Yeah. And that goes for, the Aboriginal soldiers I served with. They never got welcomed back either. EV have 79% more problems than combustion engines. Let's get them up to 80%. Yep. You've always got to strive. The CIA technically took over, probably. Shit drivers use electric cars. I can see the merit. I wouldn't have a problem with getting in the car with all my camera gear, going to sleep, typing in Byron Bay kebab shop, and then waking back up and I'm there. I can see the merit. I absolutely can. But you've got to have the infrastructure first, don't you? And they're too clean. I prefer a dirty car, a few Macca's packets. Rogue, I think instead of acknowledgement of country, it should be acknowledgement of fallen soldiers. No, I don't think anyone should be revered, mate. Just everyone should be good. What's your name, mate? You want a sausage on your bread? Bam, there you go. Turn it to a barbecue. Always bring more than what you intend on eating or drinking, leaving some behind as an unofficial tribute and rent. It's pretty easy to be a good person. And if you were a net positive, good person to those that are around you, and everyone did what you did, by default, we'd have a better country. Absolutely. I want to let you know, because I haven't told Patreon yet, but I'm doing this at the moment. I'm going to show you something. I'm not trying to get ahead of Patreon and let you guys know, but this is something positive, because you've got to have positive things. For your mental health, you've got to be positive as well. Hobbies are a great thing. So this is the head of 1st Legion. This is Steve Bryce and his henchmen there that we're painting for the Patreon. Okay? Mr. P and Lauren are the names of the people there. Lauren was fantastic to our channel. Mr. P is dead. Tribute to him. Okay? Then we've got the Black Legion, and that's led by Hunting Mason. And then we've got Maddie over here because, can't trust him with a weapon. And we'll put someone else on here out of respect to Hunting Mason. I won't say what his real name is. Okay. We've got an infantry commander who's very loyal to our channel. And bam, we'll think of a name for him. And that's him and his two guys, his offsiders there, infantry commanders. But this is the one I really like. This one here, we've got the two henchmen at the back, okay, and I'll make up the names for those, but at the moment, that is going to be, okay, James Meredith Hupp, US, Special Forces, RIP, lest we forget. And on the right-hand side is Ian Turner, Australian 2nd Commando Regiment, RIP, lest we forget. So this is going to be the Legion. I'm looking at having 100 models under this that are going to be the Walking Dead, is what that legend is going to be called, that Legion. And that Legion is going to be 100 names of fallen Australian soldiers. Or what I might have is cops in there and ambos in there. And it's going to be the Walking Dead. And it's going to be a tribute to falling Aussie patriots and heroes. So have a project. It might look a little bit childish, but I don't think it is. It's giving tribute to something in a completely different way, and I think you guys are going to like it when it comes together. We've already got well over 100 models painted, at the Republican Rome, and it's also meant to be the foundation, the baptism of professional armies that came just after that with the Marian reforms. So I really hope you like it. And it was partly, motivated by James Mitchos, who I speak to here, who is an absolute scholar of history, and it's fantastic to talk to him. I sent you a name for the Legion. Yeah, Crusher. I'm looking at the names. We're going to be very deliberate with the naming conventions for these, so it's also in line with something you would have expected in the Roman Republic, etc. Canaan Peppers. It's not childish, Kaz. It's showing your support for those who supped others. Okay. How about a thumbs up for Kaz and the efforts with the Legion? Well, they haven't fought yet. Simon wants me to get like a Friar Tuck sort of guy there as well to represent, I believe, himself. Yeah. You got to have a sense of humour, don't you, team? Supported, sorry. Yeah, things unfold and they become more special as they go on, and it's going to look great. And then we'll always be dropping little bits of history on the Roman Republic and how it's turned into today. And the reason why we're in the situation we're in today is because we're in good times of too much food, too much electricity, being able to wash our shitbox cars with 3 of them to a family with potable water. It couldn't be better. So that's why I'm saying don't be scared. This is not the time to be scared. Now is the time to thrive. Now is the time to imbue in your young ones, in your children, the sort of love of country that will make them be welcome everywhere they go. That's not a goddamn leftist protest. Spooky Boy. These models are sick. He misses painting. Paint gets steep. Nothing has hurt my wallet more than a Warhammer painting. Well, that and rent. Mate, it is addictive, especially when you see the models on the table. It's important to have a hobby team, an outlet, a selfish outlet that prevents you from slipping into some level of the worst version of yourself. Hey, Oscar Manning, how you going, mate? Look, I've been sick the last couple of days, but I feel really good at the moment. Really good. Maybe that's a sign before the storm. Okay, Simon says he's got a friend in Rome called Biggest Dickus. Why is the Raffy always the child? Cannon Pepper, sorry, I would give more thumbs up, but they only allow one. That's all right, mate. Good hobbies involve guns. Well, one of the next videos I'm doing for the channel actually comes because Donald Trump, that's not his actual real name, one of our excellent subscribers and Patreon members who just bought himself a Conqueror caravan, which is amazing, tip-top, to live off the grid because he's actually choosing action rather than just whinging. What were we getting at? Cavalry ones. Yeah, we've got cavalry ones. Okay. I don't know where I was getting this, but he referred to me back to Demolition Ranch, and I'm looking at the H&K, the 5.56 variants and the 7.62 variants, and I'm wondering, do we need the Minimi anymore, the M249? I don't know. Or the Mike 240 with the medium machine gun, the Mag 58. We need that for not just suppression, but we need that to be able to break down brick walls, etc. But yeah, it's a good subject, and you guys love weapons. I love weapons. I believe I should be allowed to have one with the qualification I have and the fact that I've got no criminal record. But, yeah. Basie, gifted 5 in the trenches with Kaz memberships. Thank you very much. Notsu Cow, a beautiful tribute right there. He's leading you to water. Who did he catch with that? Bam. Thank you very much. I forgot that I could put your comments up there, team. Thank you very much for that, mate. You know, we are a team here. Koi Simon, does he have a wife? Like me, I think he used to have a wife. Yeah. Do we have any, can we get some thumbs up? Is there any true crime followers here in comments? Do we have any true crime followers? There you go. Kind of saying thank you there. Can we get some thumbs up there for Basie, please? Hey, Jen, how you going, mate? Dwayne Duffy, Simon Powell. Buckaroo Macfio was great when it was vehicle mounted. I didn't like carrying a bucko. Jacob Palmer and his 5 daughters. The Daniel Middleton, are you related to Ant? Mr. Ballin is amazing. I love what he does. But for those that have been watching about the Chris Watts story, it's incredible some of the information that has now come out about Nicole Kessinger. Incredible. That her phone pinged beside the house where the actual murders occurred and some of the things that happened thereafter. But through some agency, the police discontinued looking at her as being part of that, and it screams of malfeasance. Well done, Harry. Great southern land of the Holy Spirit. Have we got anything more, team? Lead me on. I'm willing to stay longer. Is there anything that I've said that is absolutely off kilter tonight? Is there anything you don't agree with? Is there anything you do agree with? Is there anything you strongly agree with and want to say more on? Okay. Peppers, you've got to freak the missus out and you've got to put these stories on as you go to bed. Now, there's a name. Handy Ham. I'm practically blind without glasses. I would not get in as an infantry reserve. Medical said grade 3, but my interview went well. What do you guys think? Medical said grade 3, but my interview went well. Well, it's all going to come down until you hit a hurdle there, Handy Ham. They should have let you know by the end of that whether yes or no, or whether you need to get in with an appeal. But eyes tend to be pretty important in the military, especially in infantry, mate. Whether that's working with maps at night time, okay, or whether it's using night vision equipment, okay, whether it's working in high areas of high moisture content. Fuck, what am I talking about? What am I talking about, team? Help me here. I'm failing. Humidity. In humidity, you know, people with glasses, it can look like they've just, you know, got shower screens in front of them. Everything has a reason, my man, and I wish you all the best, you know, and keep us up to date. Okay, Jamie Dougal, got any tips for medical next week for joining the RAF? Not really, mate. Moist, Sarah Sand, don't be dirty. Medical for next week, there's nothing really you can do in the medical, mate. They're going to look and maybe find something you didn't know about you. I think you can get in flat feet. I don't think BMI matters. You know, colourblind may not matter in RAF. I don't know. Hemorrhoid may not matter. You know, scoliosis may not matter. I'm sorry, man. I'm Army, and their standards are a lot higher. So I don't know what the standards are for RAF. I'm sorry, mate. But we do have Simon Powell here. You know, it's been a long time in between drinks, but he might be able to give you some indication. Not sure. Thanks, Simon. Bloody fish bowls, he says. No, Rafa pretty much dropped all pretense of physical requirement to get in at this stage. I think if you fit in the uniform, that's what they mean by fit, which is sad because there's a lot of really good Rafies actually. Okay, Mr. Buckery said, "Do the doctor still squeeze your balls and make you cough on the medicals? Only if you're good looking. They didn't check mine." Guys and gals, do we have anyone else that is actually, enlisting on the 13th of February? We've got 2 guys that I know of that are going in on the 13th of February, and both of them were asking, 12th and 13th, if I knew anyone that was going in at that time. So I've got at least 2 people going from the channel. Hey, Kaz, I finally got to catch a stream. That's all good, Glenn. Whereabouts in Australia are you from, mate? You're very welcome. Daniel Middleton, Ant Middleton's brother. I'm joining the infantry soon. Just got to upload my last piece of documentation, which is coming in the mail, birth certificate. Yeah, they can be a pain in the ass, the birth certificate, to get when you don't realise you need it until you need it for a passport, etc. But don't worry, once you got it, it's good to have. It's good to have. Make sure you do get your passport just after that. You can get a passport in 3 days these days if you're willing to spend the money. James, I think I'm all good. I've been going for the Army standard pretty much for the last few months, and you should be fine. If you make the Army standard, you exceed the RAF standard, that's for sure. Hey, Elise King, how you going, mate? Hey, by the way, team, I did have a lot of notes for tonight, and I didn't even go back to them. G'day, Leland, how you going? Although, what have we got? We had some call-outs for tonight. Where are they? Where are they? Okay, found him. So we've got a fantastic fella, who's 32 years old, and his name is Jason. He's South African, and he's about to go to the US, and he's going to join their military over there. I'm not sure what his exact motivation was, but we wish him all the best with his travels to the USA to go over there and be in the land of the free, in the time of the most turbulence, so that he can have his gun laws, big stakes, and big goddamn mamas. Okay, we've got the Stan, the man Longitas, his brother George. Okay, and apparently he's not in the best of sorts at the moment, and we hope he's doing well. There's a fantastic guy who's never came up short, which is the son of Hunting Mason. And his name is Liam. And he's going out with, and now very, very serious about, a beautiful young lady who may very well be Hunting Mason's new daughter, if everything goes well. And he is more than excited. He's always wanted a daughter, and he's willing to take this girl into his family for the rest of his life and treat her like a sub-queen. Like the daughter that he always wanted. And the guy sounded emotional about the excitement of being able to be that protective father. So we'll call him by his name, it's Lou. Well done, mate. It's a pleasure talking to you. Very, very, very proud. And I tell you what, if there's anything that ever let me down, it was watching the history. This is a secret Easter egg out there of Roots. Roots was a fantastic series about America and our African Americans and the situation that occurred a long time ago. And it turned out that it was a myth. And yeah, a lot of it was a myth. And sadly, there's been a lot of very horrible situations happen out of what a result was they thought was actual truth to live by. So be careful what you read. Steve, I think the US are taking anyone they can get at the moment. Maybe. 58 minutes, says Simon. Yep. Hope they don't expect... what was this one? Roger. Hope they don't expect woke these days. I think we're getting very close. What do you think? Okay. Yes or no? Or yes or no, do you think we're getting ready for a pendulum swing back? Do you think the majority has had enough? Because it feels that way. It feels that way. And I actually feel sorry for some of the minority groups who are populated quite often by the village idiot that have been taken advantage of, because when the pendulum swings back the other way, there might not be much mercy or tolerance for those people. And I don't want to see anyone having a hard life, 100%, where are we? 100% pendulum swinging back. There you go. There you go. Roots, you said it. Can't believe it, big balls, mate. There you go. You thought I was going to forget. I didn't forget. Lest we forget. The majority has had enough, absolutely. Yeah, but we're not as unhinged as what the overwhelming loud minority is. So they think that they're safe, but they're too far over their skates to realise it. I'd wait to say, anytime there's a swing one way, the other correction is always a thing. And it's quite often, it's a more violent swing than what it needs to be. The reaction is normally a lot stronger than the action. Yep. And we saw what happened there over in Gaza at the moment. Yep. And sadly, we also saw the devastation of a Russian armored column. Now, it is sad because these guys probably don't want to be in the fight either against the Ukraine. And they had all these vehicles on display, and they went over and lasted about as long as a bloody fart in a Bunsen burner factory. So it's sad to see either side of them losing, knowing that their politicians are both the ones keeping them in the fight. God bless the Ukrainian patriots, but at the same time, let's hope that there's some sort of answer for this, because the amount of bloodshed that's happening over there is going back to World War I sort of days. Too late for the pendulum. We are collapsed. Wait and see. Pendulum swings back post-collapse. Jesse Belt, you may be right, man. You may be very well right. Maybe it is too late, especially when we've got voting attached to them. When you look around the politicians of Australia, you can't see any leadership. You can't see any policy. You can't see any connection, and proof of that was the yes vote, when the only people that voted for yes was actually the politicians in the ACT who thought they were being, maybe set up for a fall by Albanese. Yeah. All right, team. I babbled some shit tonight. I hope you're happy. I hope this is a different sort of conversation to you. Remember, you're not getting bombs in your city. Remember, you can go out. There's not going to be a shooting at your local music festival. People aren't going to come in and take everything out of your Bunnings and then bash you for being a racist when you try to stop them. There's not missiles landing in the middle of your schools. You're not lying under bricks and mortar waiting for an ambulance that'll never come. The social decay, yep, it's here. Deflect it. Have your coffee. Go about your daily bread. But don't be scared to voice your opinion, be yourself, and stand by it. Because the more Australians that do this, the village idiot runs out of fuel in the room. We've got some big times ahead, and it's an absolute pleasure having this little enclave of what seems like really, really good people, with their heads screwed on and not vitriol, okay, either way. I see us as a group of centralists. Yep. Got my site coming up, says Moonshine. All the best with that, mate. Guys and gals, look after your family, look after yourself, okay? Because no one will remember you when you're gone other than your dog and your nearest friends and family. And they won't last for long, just like Michael Jackson was only in the news for a couple of weeks. Take it easy. Make sure the fights you take on are the ones worth fighting, but you've got to stand for something, but not everything. Otherwise, you're going to get knackered and you'll be useless to us when the fight begins. Take it easy. Love your country. We're girt by sea, and we're goddamn lucky to be here. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your donations, and thank you for your common sense. And most of all, thank you for your code of conduct on this channel, because I've never seen it on someone else's. Well done. You should be proud of yourselves. Let's stand by our new generations. Give them a chance instead of just condemning them. See you later. Enjoy your coffee tomorrow. That's Kaz going for a scratch. Out to you.